Okay, hello and welcome to the first of a couple of episodes I'm going to be doing on Mario Kart Double Dash. To be honest, I have not played this game in a very long time, but we're just going to get right on in with 150cc Grand Prix. So, I don't really know who I want to play here. I think I'll go Daisy and Luigi for this first one, and I'll run the Peach Kart, I think. And basically, I want to do this in 2 episodes. I did have to do the Star Cup on 100cc in order to unlock the Special Cup, so I have done just a couple of little things. But today, I'm planning on doing the Mushroom Cup and the Flower Cup, and then tomorrow doing the Star Cup and the Special Cup. And all of these will be played at 150cc, so hopefully this doesn't go too badly, because I remember this being really hard, and I don't know why. So, if we were playing on 100cc or 50cc, all of the teams would be their kind of naturally default assigned partners. So, obviously aside from our characters, Mario would be with Luigi, Peach would be with Daisy, Diddy Kong would be with Donkey Kong, Yoshi would be with Birdo, Wario with Waluigi, Baby Mario and Baby Luigi, Koopa and Pyro Trooper, and Diddy Kong with Donkey Kong. Or Bowser and Bowser Jr., I forget which one I hadn't mentioned. They would all naturally be their kind of duo partners, and if you used a kind of mismatched team, the AI would fill in. So, because I have Luigi and Daisy, it would fill it in to be Peach and Mario. However, since we're on 150cc, this has now changed, and it is now completely assigned at random who will be each person's partner. As you can see by Baby Luigi being with Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong being with Wario, and so on and so forth. So basically, quite simply, Double Dash works on well, it's kind of a 2-player one, but it's also, I don't know, I feel like this is, I don't know, Double Dash is weird in the sense where, like, technically it is a co-op game, but at the same time, it's like, realistically, only one of you is actually playing if you're playing this co-op. Because as far as I'm aware, it's just like one person drives and the other person uses the items. So I guess that could be technically a great example of like, yeah, sure, this is one where you can just like let your, you know, you can let your younger sibling just play it and be like, hey, yeah, you're playing. It's like, okay, they're just on item duty. And also, of course, we got blue shelled, you know, on the last lap, because of course, it's just not Mario Kart if you don't get blue shelled on the last lap, and, you know, lose as a result. I mean, to be totally honest, okay, I nearly got robbed at a third, that would have been disastrous. Okay, so, so basically, as I already mentioned, every duo kind of has a natural duo partner. After you beat, I think the Special Cup on 100cc, you get Toad and Toadette. And then, I forget if it's Mirror Mode or the All Cup Tour. I don't remember which it is, but you can also unlock P.E. Piranha and King Boo. But I don't remember, like, I don't remember which one it is to unlock them. To be honest, I don't think I ever actually did unlock them. I know my brother did, because he played this a lot more than I did when I was a kid. Probably because, you know, this was the game that came with his GameCube. In retrospect, I think my brother got a much better deal with his, because he got this and the collection for the Zelda games, which had Zelda 1, 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask. Meanwhile, I got Pokemon Colosseum. Like, I will talk about Pokemon Colosseum in depth when I, inevitably, at some point, do a playthrough of it. But, yeah. I have some opinions on Pokemon Colosseum. But yeah, in this game, everyone has their, like, every pair, I don't even know what happened there. In this game, every pair has their own special item, which is why it makes more sense for them to be kind of spread apart, and, you know, everyone being mismatched in their pairs, as for this being the highest difficulty one. Because, basically, Mario and Luigi have their normal fireball, which makes perfect sense for them. Peach and Daisy, I believe they have, I think theirs is kind of like a shield, where like if you throw an item into it, it basically like absorbs the item and gives you it. Diddy Kong and Donkey Kong, they will throw a giant banana, which when someone crashes into it, will explode at like 3 or 4 other bananas. Bowser and Bowser Jr. will throw a giant Bowser shell, which I think works similar to a green shell, but just bigger. Like, I think it's just like a massive green shell in essence. Wario and Waluigi will throw a bomb, which obviously will explode a few seconds after it hits the track. Baby Mario and Baby Luigi use a chin chomp, which I think is as close as you can get to a bullet bill in this game. Koopa and Paratrooper have a very simple one. They just get triple green and triple red shells. This would become just a default item in the next game, which was Mario Kart Wii. Actually, no, the next game was Mario Kart DS. Just managed to catch myself on that one. I never actually played Mario Kart DS much. Like, but I can ramble about that another time. Then, Yoshi and Birdo have an egg, which when it hits something, it kind of homes in. It's like a red shell. But it will also drop, I think it's like bananas. I think it like drops bananas, mushrooms, and I think it can do green shells. Anyway, now we are on to Baby Park, which is, I feel like it's a very contentious track. I feel like people either immediately love Baby Park or just they hate it with every fiber of their being. And to be fair, I think it does kind of encapsulate everything that is Mario Kart, just in one track that's done. In one track, in one race, that is 7 laps and done in, like, just over a minute. Like, it's fast, it's frantic, anyone can win because basically, you can just get completely robbed at any second. I do not know how I managed to dodge that Bowser shell. Perfect, we can take first place back here. But yeah, basically there's just items all over the place. Items are constantly flying everywhere. Green shells, and especially that Bowser shell, is just flying over at the middle constantly. Like, anything could happen on this track at any given second. And, like, I'm in first, and I could suddenly just end up in last. But at the same time, this is also very much a track where I could just end up lapping someone. Like, I don't know, that's kind of... I feel like that's simultaneously the best and worst part about Baby Park. Like, because it is the entire... Like, I do think it's just a perfect encapsulation of what Mario Kart is, in both the good and bad aspects. Because, I'll be honest, there's some things about this that I really don't like. You know, like how I just got completely robbed by just, you know, hit by something completely out of my control, couldn't do anything about it. And I think... Okay, I think for the first 3 races, I've finished first, second, and third now. So I think it should be a 3-way tie for first, right? It is... Okay, all I need to do for this final race is finish higher than Bowser and the Koopa Trooper. That's all I have to do. Oh, I also forgot to mention the unlockable characters. Toad and Toadette will unlock, and their special item is the Royal Mushroom, which I believe also just becomes a default item in the future games. And there's also King Boo and P.E. Piranha, and I'll be honest, I do not remember what their special item is. Like, I remember playing this game with my brother, and he had them unlocked, but I don't remember what their special item is. Also, I kind of want to see what happens if I throw a blue shell when I'm in first place. So let's see. That happens. Good to know! I'm glad that it exists as an interaction. I hate that I was stupid enough to test it. Thanks, me. If I lose this one, I'm gonna feel incredibly stupid. But then again, I know me, I'll be in first place on the final turn and get blue shelled anyway. Well, more accurately, because it's Mario Kart, I won't get blue shelled. I'll get blue shelled, lightninged, then red shelled. And of course, that will put me down at like 5th place. This from first on quite literally the final turn for Grand Prix. And also, I just went and just all in on the slow sand there. I completely messed up my line. So, yeah, I've definitely not exactly put myself in the best spot so far in this race. But you know what? considering we blew ourselves up with the blue shell, it could be going worse. It could be going a lot worse. However, I do still need to get ahead. But it is kind of annoying me that the only people I need to get ahead of are the people that are ahead of me. Sorry, the only people I need to finish higher than are the people currently in first. Basically, we just need to beat Bowser. All we need to do is defeat that there King Koopa, and we are good to go. You know, because of course, the most very perfect. Getting them with that green shell actually bought us a lot of time. And by that I mean it bought us probably like a second. But to be honest, you know, this is a racing game. 1 second is a very long time. Okay, 10 we managed to avoid the sand pit. Okay, that's gonna hit us, that's gonna hit us. No. That ain't great. That's double bad. Okay. As long as I don't crash, I think I'm okay. As long as there's no lightning, no blue shell, I think I'm okay to claim my win here. And I can't even trail the item behind me like in Mario Kart Wii or Beyond. Okay, perfect. That should hit us after we... Fantastic, we win, okay. That was very stressful on that last corner. To be honest, I'm amazed that I didn't get lightninged. But with that, we have 34 points, so we do manage to pull out the win. It was very close, but we did pull out the win on the 150cc Mushroom Cup. Okay, so, also, I don't know if you could unlock Toadswaff's car from this, but hey, we did win. Also, 10 out of 10, I just love seeing that pop in. I will say, it is a very nice little thing. Also, this is another time where it's like, hey, we gotta show off Delfino Island, because, well, Mario Sunshine was the newest game. I'll be honest, I played a little bit of Mario Sunshine when I was a kid. I did not enjoy my time playing Mario Sunshine. I might give it another try at some point. And, well, with that, we do get our golden trophy, because, well, we got first place. Okay, so what is our reward for winning this? We get... Dun, da, 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 Luigi's Mansion, a new battle mode stage. Obviously, I'm playing this by myself, so I don't really have people to play battle mode with. Okay, so, let's see here. Who should we play next? Because I don't want to run Luigi and Daisy again. I could, but I'm not going to. So I'm also going to rule out Peach and Mario as a team. I think I want to play not mediums, so that rules out these 6. Or at least, if I play one of these 6, I need to run a heavy with them. So that's these 4. And I think I think King Boo and P.E. Piranha are both heavies, and Toad and Toadette are both lights. Okay, I'm gonna run with Wario and Yoshi, I think. You know what? Yeah, let's run Wario and Yoshi on the Flower Cup with Mushroom Bridge, Mario Circuit, Daisy Cruiser, and Waluigi Stadium. Daisy Cruiser, I think, just got added back into Mario Kart in the expansion pass for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which honestly, that game, like, genuinely, I'm kind of impressed by it. Mostly because, like, that game originally came out on the Wii U, and then obviously Deluxe came out pretty soon after the Switch sale. I think it was like September of that year. I want to say it was like September or October, because I know it was I'm pretty sure it was just before Mario Odyssey. Actually, it might have been even before that. Anyway, I know it was the same year as the Switch came out, and then it kind of just like fell radio silent for a really long time, and I assume most people just assumed... Like, I assume that most people probably just common consensus went, well, they must be working on Mario Kart 9, and that'll come out at some point in the Switch's life cycle. And here we are, 6 years into the Switch. That is an awful combination of words I just had to say. Like, the Switch has been out 6 years now. Don't let it set in. But yeah, like, genuinely kind of impressive how they just kind of randomly during a Nintendo Direct went, yeah, actually we're doing an expansion pass, we're doing a whole bunch more tracks for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It's like, genuinely, that is really solid. I would say post-launch support, but it's like, but that's like post-launch. I feel like post-launch support is like the year or two after. I feel like this is an entirely different case. But honestly, I'm not going to complain about it. I think it's really good that they've just, you know, added more stuff. To be honest, I want to believe, like, I genuinely want to believe that the remake of Crash Team Racing and the absolute stellar quality of its post-launch support was what, like, led Nintendo to doing this. It more than likely wasn't, but I would like to believe that it was. Because honestly, Crash Team Racing's remake, sorry, CTR Nitro Fueled, I should probably call it, that had such amazing post-launch support. It was getting new characters and tracks and stuff for months. Actually, it might have even been a year or two. And yeah, I think that was a genuinely really solid thing. And honestly, I think that's the kind of post-launch support that like a lot of, if not every kart racer should be aiming for. And by that I mean, hey, if we could get like a new Sonic and Sega All-Stars with that kind of quality post-launch support, that could genuinely be amazing. Because I know that a lot of people really like Sonic and Sega All-Stars, especially because in All-Stars Transformed it had the boats and the planes, you know, really get the Diddy Kong racing crowd in. But yeah, I feel like also, you know, Sega has a lot of series that kind of just, you know, obviously they have their kind of flagship ones. They have Sonic, they have Yakuza. I guess technically they have Persona because they own Atlas. Is that some fun? Like, they have a lot of series that they can do a lot with in terms of both characters and tracks. To be totally honest, I think that could be really cool, and well, if it had the quality of post-launch support that CTR remake did, I would genuinely think that, like, I genuinely believe that could make an argument as one of the strongest kart racers. Because obviously, like, they know what they're doing. Sonic and Sega All-Stars and All-Stars Transformed were pretty well received. Like, generally, I've seen people be very much wanting a third one. And I guess Team Sonic Racing exists, but it's not quite the same, you know? Then again, I feel like during the late 2000s, early 2010s, Sega did love doing some crossovers. Because we did have Project Cross Zone, which is like a weird kind of RPG thing, I think. I think with Capcom and Namco Bandai, which, you know, is kind of cool. I never actually played it, but it looked cool. And then there was also Sonic and Sega All-Stars Tennis. Like, I remember that existing. And yeah, I feel like another racing game could genuinely be a nice. I feel like it could be, you know, just a nice little thing to have. Because, you know, they have so many series and they can just make so many little references and stuff in it. I mean, okay, I say that. My dream Sega game, my absolute dream for a Sega game, is actually, I just want Sega versus Capcom. Like, you know, Sega has a whole bunch of iconic characters, Capcom has a whole bunch of iconic characters, and, you know, let them fight! And also, like, I think it would just be really cool. And also, I would love to see all the crossovers for it. And also just, like, the little references and everything. There's so much potential in that. Like, I know I'm off topic from racing, well, kart racers now, but hey, we won the second race. But, like, Sega versus Capcom is one that I really want, and I also want to. I know that it won't happen because it would be an absolute nightmare for, like, copyright laws and everything. Like, I don't even want to think about all the paperwork they would have to do for it, but I would love to see Shonen Jump versus Capcom. I think that game could be so cool. I remember, it was on my old PC, so I don't have it anymore, but I even, like, built a thing where it's like, hey, this is the roster that I want. I might remake that, because I did really enjoy kind of theory crafting a roster for it. And there were some fun cuts in there. Like, there were some fun character picks. You know, a few that might, you know, kind of stick out. And also a few that are kind of just like, hey, how did they never make it into one of these before? Just like how To be fair, I also had a few for like another Marvel vs. Capcom where I also had a few characters where I was just like, hey, how did they never make it in? Like how has Dr. Octopus never been in Marvel vs. Capcom? Like, he's kind of like one of the main guys in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery, and he just never made it in. And I feel like Doc Ock could be a really cool character in a fighting game. Like, he could be... Okay, I know the following combination of words will probably irritate a lot of people, but he could kind of be a ranged grappler, in a sense. Like, he could... Like, I'm not saying that grapplers should be able to grab you from half screen, but I feel like he should grab you from half screen. Anyway, I'm gonna get back on topic of kart races. So, yeah, admittedly, I have played Mario Kart before. This was kind of my childhood Mario Kart game. It was never my favourite kart racer, because, well, you know, I never had a Nintendo 64, and I was very much all in on Crash Team Racing. Oh wow, we hit both of them with that blue shell? That is huge, actually. But yeah, I am still a massive fan of CTR. It's I would still probably say it's the best kart racer that I've ever played. I do think that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has had a lot of good going for it with its post-launch support, but I think I just always preferred the general gameplay of CTR. At some point, I will definitely do videos on CTR, because I love that game so much. Honestly, I might do original and Night Refuel at some point, because those games are both fantastic. I didn't want to go down here this time. No! I didn't want to go down here for this final lap. I might have just thrown it. But you know what? It's fine. We're back in first. I just need to be a little safe, because we are about 5 seconds away from the end of this race. Perfect. Okay, now we've won the first 3. Fantastic. This is actually going perfectly. Okay, Wario and Yoshi. The Dream Team, apparently. Also, Daisy Cruiser is a much shorter track than I remember it being. Okay. As long as I finish in the top 4, I win. I think. Yes. Okay, as long as I am top 4, I win. And that's assuming that Baby Mario and Donkey Kong take first place if I don't. Okay, so on to the final course, Waluigi Stadium. Okay, so this track obviously has a lot going on visually. Also, I think this game was the first time I'd ever heard of Waluigi. To be honest, I think this was the first time I'd ever heard of Wario as well, to be totally honest. Because, I'll be honest, I was never, like, the most Nintendo kid. Like, I didn't own an N64, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo or anything. Like, the only Nintendo thing I had before GameCube was my brother, more accurately, had a Game Boy Color. Like, you have a special Pikachu edition, one of those, because he had Pokemon Yellow. Also, fun fact, only Game Boy Color game he ever owned. Because for some reason he genuinely believed that it was like, well, the system can only store one save game, not realizing that like the save was on the cart. So he never actually had any other Game Boy Color games, which honestly is kind of wild to me. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I never had, like, I never really followed, like, all of the Nintendo stuff. I mean, to be fair, for a very long time, when I was a kid, it was like, oh, new game is out? Cool. Like, if I hadn't read about it in a magazine, I probably didn't know it existed. Because, to be totally honest, well, I didn't have the internet until, like, 2005, and I wasn't really, like, I was definitely all in on I'm going to just look at the game in the game store and pick up the game I think that looks cool. So, yeah, I very much, kind of, I don't know, I feel like I was, I would say I was maybe a bit limited in what I would play as a kid, but at the same time, it was just like, I had a cousin who, you know, would just, pirate some games, so I played a whole bunch of PS1 games that I definitely wouldn't have played otherwise. And then there was a few times where it was like, it would just give me a whole bunch of, like, pirated copies of games, but they would also just give me some actual, like, proper, like, real boxed releases. Like, it's how I own, I think I have, like, Colony Wars. It's like Colony Wars and RC Stunt Copter. To this day, RC Stunt Copter remains perhaps, it might not be, if it isn't number one, it is definitely up there in the conversation for being the hardest game I have ever played. Like, the controls in that game are so fiddly, like, I have never been able to do it. I mean, to be fair, I think it is probably because it's, like, actually what it's... I imagine that's what it's like to actually fly, like, a remote control helicopter. I've never actually done it. Also, we were so close to perfection there, but whatever. I'll take third place, because either way we're first place overall. But yeah. Well, I guess I should cut this ramble short. I guess I should stop rambling now, because we are off to the awards ceremony to celebrate our win. And our gold medal win in the 150cc Flower Cup. So, what do we win? What is our reward here? For winning, we get the Turbo Birdo. Okay, that's a Birdo kart for certain. Okay, so with that, I'm going to end off today's episode here, and tomorrow, I assume this will be going up on Thursday. Well, next time, we'll be doing the Star Cup and the Special Cup, which, if these two were difficult, these two are going to be a nightmare for me. So, with that, I'm going to end off today's episode here, and yeah, so as always, feel free to leave a comment or click any buttons down below if you feel so inclined, and I will hopefully see you all next time for a bit more Mario Kart Double Dash. Okay, thanks for watching, later.